Today was yet again another example of how Kyler Murray, simply put, does not get it. On the heels of acting like a petulant middle schooler and scrubbing any reference of the Arizona Cardinals from his social media, Kyler Murray's agent released a statement early this morning, and honestly, you try to read it, because I'm not going to read it. I literally can't read it. My eyesight isn't that good. Look at that font. Who writes like that? The font is awful. It's in all caps. There's a lot of bold. In summation, here's what it says. Pay Kyler Murray a ton of money right now, and we don't care about the other players on the team. I mean, that is a joke. Basically, the agent is saying, Kyler's worth it, they are not. There's mention of a lot of Pro Bowls in there. There's a mention of the Cardinals' win total before Kyler Murray was the quarterback. But it's funny, after squinting, I didn't see any mentions in the statement about Kyler Murray having 2 straight seasons of pure slop and failure down the stretch. Funny, didn't see that in the old 8x5 fonts. I don't see any reference to Kyler Murray playing his worst when it matters the most. I don't see any mention of Murray's pathetic puke of a showing in the playoffs this year against the Rams, a team, simply put, he can't beat. Murray just fell apart last season as the Cardinals went from Super Bowl contender to punchline before being punched out. Kyler Murray is untrustworthy, and his numbers in primetime, hide your eyes. They are grotesque. They make Andy Dalton and Kirk Cousins blush. Look, I acknowledge Kyler Murray's talent. He's a very good quarterback. He's smaller than me, but he's a very good quarterback. Under no circumstance can the Arizona Cardinals give him a bag of cash now. There are reasons on and off the field why you have to wonder aloud if the Arizona Cardinals can win a Super Bowl with Kyler Murray. In fact, I think they know that they can't win a big game with Kyler Murray. Chris Mortensen from ESPN reported that Murray's work ethic has come under fire in Arizona. There are major maturity issues. He folds when the going gets tough. Kyler Murray does not take accountability. I cannot imagine his teammates were thrilled with this statement today. Kyler Murray doesn't get it. Never has, never will. And if you're paying attention, you cannot be surprised. Rock, meet bottom for LeBron James and the LA Lakers. And don't let LeBron's gaudy stats fool you. The biggest reason why the LA Lakers are a stumbling mess right now, LeBron James. Last night was simply pathetic. Losing by over 20 points to the Pelicans in Los Angeles. LeBron and Russell Westbrook combined for 14 turnovers. The team had 23. And look at this. DeAndre Jordan threw an out pass that missed everyone by 40 feet. Reminded me of when E.J. Manuel was playing for the Bills and he hit the hospitality tent in training camp years back. I mean, it's over. This season, the LeBron era, the only question is when. Will LeBron leave this offseason or next? But it's pretty crystal clear. He doesn't want to be in Los Angeles, and I don't think the Lakers want him. Look, this isn't about the Russ trade or Anthony Davis being heard. This all started with the nonsense at the trade deadline where the Lakers did nothing and LeBron was livid. And remember, LeBron takes it all out on social media, and then you have to read the tea leaves here. He tweeted praise for LA Rams GM Les Snead. LeBron only gave the general manager for the Oklahoma City Thunder, Sam Presti, credit as opposed to saying anything about Rob Pelinka. Well, James talked about going home. He said this out loud on the record, All-Star break, to play for Cleveland again. His agent, Rich Paul, had to sit down with ownership and Rob Pelinka and acted like everything was A-OK. The place in the standings is a disaster and totally unacceptable. Lakers should have started the second half with a bang, beating the Clippers on Friday in New Orleans last night. Instead, they lost both. Making the play-in isn't even a guarantee. This is what happens when LeBron James is focused on everything other than Lakers basketball. Unstoppable is an accurate word choice, and I'm surprised that anyone is surprised. We said it when the James Harden deal to Philly was rumored. We said it when it was completed. The Sixers are getting a locked-in, focused, energized version of Harden out to change his current narrative after quitting on the Rockets and the Nets in back-to-back years. You almost forgot how majestic and historic Harden is as an offensive ball player. And Harden's domination his first two games as a Sixer, sensational. This was predictable. And James Harden and Joel Embiid are making sweet and beautiful music together. Sixers are averaging 129 points per game in Harden's first two wearing the Philly uniform. Embiid was totally unstoppable yesterday. Harden's looking to pass first, establish JoJo, which makes Philly even more dominant and everybody happy. We told you that keeping Maxey and Tybalt, not trading them, was gigantic. And look, you see the standings here? I think Philly's going to end up being the 1 seed. I think Philly is going to win the East and be in the mix for a championship this year. At the bare bones minimum, I expect the Sixers to be in the NBA's Final Four. I know a lot of NBA fans hate Harden. He's a quitter. I get it, but he's currently all about the team and winning a title. And that equals danger for the rest of the Eastern Conference. How about my guy Derek Carr saying over the weekend that new head coach Josh McDaniels has been great and he's looking forward to getting to know him even better. And I think Carr and McDaniels are going to be terrific together in Vegas. And the quotes that Carr gave the Las Vegas Journal-Review, I thought it was pretty eye-opening. Wants to get to know McDaniels on a personal level and get their families together, and I thought that was great. And that's Carr being such a genuine guy and, having a relationship that, frankly, he didn't have with John Gruden. John Gruden, I felt like, constantly didn't give his support to my guy, Derek Carr. And the fact that the Vegas Raiders ranked this high on offense last year with everything that happened with Gruden and Ruggs, I mean, that's all a credit to Derek Carr. Derek Carr, this is the final year of his contract. Derek Carr is worth every single penny of the next contract that he's going to get. You know that at times I feel like I'm the sole member of the Derek Carr is Great fan club. I think Derek Carr is a franchise quarterback. I think he should be entrenched. I think that part of the hook of McDaniels getting this job is to take my guy Derek Carr, who's a very good to great quarterback, to a different level. And I think he has a different level. He's going to have a new head coach. They'll get better weapons around him. The trust from the head coach and play caller. I think this is the right time to make sure that Derek Carr has everything he needs to be successful. And I want to see Derek Carr develop that relationship with McDaniels. McDaniels needs Carr. Carr needs McDaniels. The Raiders do not need to be in this quarterback carousel, which is going to be awesome and wild this offseason. Sign Derek Carr, who is worth every single penny. I got to get this off my chest. All signs point to Aaron Rodgers staying in Green Bay. And obviously, this is an omnipresent topic. And I said this before I went on vacation last week, that I expect Rodgers to make his decision this week or next week. Chances are I think it's going to be this week. And I think that if you look at it, you look at the dates, obviously, for the National Football League. I think the franchise tag deadline and figuring out what they're going to do with Devontae Adams is huge. And obviously, what's going to transpire ultimately with the start of free agency. So they're restructuring all these deals. They bring in Tom Clements, and Brian Gutekunst, told the press last week that he never made a promise to Rodgers that they would trade him. Goody, just stop talking. Anytime you get involved, it messes everything up. There's no question about that. But I think that for Aaron Rodgers, look, he obviously said a lot of things on Pat McAfee's outstanding show on Mad Dog Sports Radio last Tuesday. The Instagram posts were inspirational. It's not Aaron saying he was going to retire or trade me or I'm staying. He's just saying thank you to everyone who's been involved in his life. I mean, all signs point to him staying. The relationship, remember what he told me on my podcast, with Goonie and Rodgers, it's vastly improved. It's not about better chance or worse chance in Denver. It's all about the relationship with Rodgers and the brass. He loves Matt LaFleur. They're restructuring the contracts. All signs point to Aaron Rodgers. It's not a done deal. You never know, 100%. All signs point to Rodgers staying with the Green Bay Packers. I got to get this off my chest. Of course, Sean McVay staying with the LA Rams. Now, the TV situation and going to Amazon obviously was intriguing. And Andrew Marchand of the New York Post reported that Amazon is prepared to offer McVay 5 years, $100 million. That'll make anybody think. And of course, right after the Super Bowl, McVay is engaged, he's going to get married, wants to start a family. He was not 100% committed, but then at the parade, it was all run it back, run it back. So I'm not surprised that he's on record now saying we're running it back. And I don't think this is going to be just one more year for Sean McVay. He's a fabulous coach. I think he's going to stay in Los Angeles for the duration of the Matthew Stafford contract. I think he's going to be there. You look at the landscape in the NFC, right? Rodgers stays in Green Bay. Packers are going to be in the conversation for everything. But clearly the Rams enter the offseason as the team to beat. Is it the Cowboys? They still have a lot of questions and issues and a coaching situation that you got to pay attention to. Niners are loaded. If you believe in Trey Lance, that's going to be a big deal. Obviously, you don't have a quarterback right now in Tampa. Don't have a quarterback in New Orleans. So it's clearly all about the LA Rams. Part of the whole Ocean's 11 approach is the fact that Sean McVay is able to establish a culture and no one's bigger than the rest of the roster. Everyone checks their ego at the door. McVay will be on TV at some point. He'll be a lead game analyst, make a ton of money. He's built for TV. He follows television. I've talked to him on air, off air about this. But Sean McVay has so much more to give as the coach of the Rams. This could be another championship season, and I don't think it's one more year and then all of a sudden, poof, he's doing games. I think Sean McVay is going to run it back, and then back again as the coach in Los Angeles. I think this is great for LA. Got to get this off my chest. Mason Rudolph, please. He's not going to be the starting quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers this season. It's not going to happen. I don't care what Kevin Colbert is saying. Support for Mason Rudolph? I've got a better chance of being the quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers than Mason Rudolph. Mason Rudolph, we've seen this movie before. We know how it ends. He is not, look at the numbers. Watch him play. The Pittsburgh Steelers need to do better, must do better, will do better. I would consider drafting Kenny Pickett or Malik Willis. I would consider, if you do that, signing someone like Jameis Winston or Mitch Trubisky. There are so many other options. Mason Rudolph, I could throw a dart on the street in New York City and find someone who's better than Mason Rudolph at the quarterback position. There is no chance he's the week one starter for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell for more videos.